Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to the Fairy Amazon Challenge in The Sims 4. We are following the reign of Queen Supria Reed Daisy, who has recently found herself occupied with concerns about her two daughters and their vastly different personalities. But now she must put those thoughts aside and focus on the new council's appointment. The fairy court is entering its summer season, and it is time for the queen to consider who among her ladies are worthy of advising her. After much consideration, Queen Supria has chosen Lady Katerina Night Ember and Lady Bran Fronstar as her new counselors. This comes as no surprise to many of the court who have witnessed the monarch's close friendship with Katerina. But Bran's appointment is being looked at with scrutiny because of her romantic involvement with Katerina. Some are under the impression she bought her position with favors instead of rightfully earning it. We are picking up at 2:30 a.m. on Sunday. The new council has been appointed by our queen, and we've, I think, had some mixed reactions from the court members. And I think this will extend, obviously, to all of the members in the male faculty, the female faculty. Some of the thoughts which we will hear, I think, are going to carry on beyond just the 5 ladies we have in the throne room. So with Queen Supria, she of course appointed Katerina, who she has an amazing compatibility with, 100 relationship with, friendship. So that I don't think came as a surprise to a lot of people. They were kind of anticipating Katerina becoming a counselor. So nobody really has a problem with that. I mean, Brent, she on and off I think has been feeling a little bit of envy when it comes to Katerina, especially when she believes she has a lot of the same things as Katerina has, the qualities, the accomplishments. So it's a little bit hurtful when the queen is focused on just one of the noble ladies instead of giving equal attention to all of them. So there is that. But then we have Bran's appointment, because the next lady that the queen appointed was Bran. And this is where the problem comes in. So after Katerina, who had, like I said, amazing compatibility with the queen, we had Bran and Kayla, who had 100 relationship with the queen, and they didn't have any compatibility. So the way the queen ended up choosing was whoever was the older fairy, because in terms of social status, the older fairies, they have a little bit more, because the older you are, the wiser you are. So naturally, Bran was selected. So the fact that Bran got chosen over Kayla only poses a problem to some members of court, because Bran is romantically involved with Katerina. Even though she earned this position of her own right, she is being viewed with scrutiny because I think fairies like Kayla are saying that Bran only got her position on the council, or she only got to keep her position on the council because Katerina is really close with Queen Supria, and she called in a favor wanting her lover Bran to stay, and that's the only reason Bran is on the council instead of Kayla. So I think there is some division. Now this is interesting because we know beforehand when Bran was having some, jealousy problems with Katerina, she was only expressing her thoughts and viewpoints to Kayla, not to anyone else, just to Kayla, since Kayla was kind of removed from that whole group. But Kayla didn't really have a reason to feel irritated, feel upset, or to get really that involved in this whole fiasco. But now that she's lost her council position to Bran, I think Kayla is going to find herself roped in to this whole thing, and she might start agreeing with Brent a little bit more and saying that yes, Supria's favor of Katerina and now Bran is a bit of a problem for them because it means they are getting pushed out of the queen's inner circle. So I just thought this whole situation was very, very interesting with the way the relationships have panned out and who got chosen for the new council. I'm wondering if some of the things which were not in effect beforehand might have been pushed into motion if this council appointment for the summer season might be a catalyst for certain things happening, because now Kayla is starting to think a certain way as well. So it feels as though the court is well and truly divided between Supria and her counselors, and then the other two who are kind of feeling a little bit left out. Also, Bren has a sickness we haven't really seen before, I think. She's got simoleon fever, and she's not one of the ladies that has bread, which means that this is going to count towards her genetic sickness. She now has a genetic sickness of 3%. The other thing, while I was chatting about all of the ladies, since we have the new council appointment, it means that some of the influence points in court has changed, and I wanted to mention that. So in order of who has the most to least influence in court right now, Supria has the most at 6, Katerina has 5, Brant has 4, and then Bren has 3, Kayla has 2. Before this, Katerina and Brant were equal, and Bren and Kayla were equal. So obviously, Brant might feel it is kind of unfair if she is more influential than Bren, but she doesn't have a place on the council. And then for Kayla, she was equal to Bren, and now she has less influence than Bren. And her relationship with the queen is at 100, so she's going to obviously feel as though this appointment was unfair. And that might make Kayla and Brant kind of band together. So that's kind of intriguing what's been going on. The only ones I think that members of court aren't really going to question, obviously, is Katerina's appointment, but I feel like they might start using Katerina as an excuse to pick at Bren. Very, very intriguing, to be honest. Very intriguing. Before I forget, Queen Supria has ranked up to Glimmering, so I did give her some new powers and abilities, which I want to take a look at. The first one was Embrace Relationship Changes. Magnify all relationship changes that occur when using fairy abilities on another sim. For example, a friendly relationship increases when using a positive ability on another sim. Using abilities on other sims can affect your relationship with them, but that isn't always bad. So this is a passive ability, and I had a look at her relationships. She had mostly green bars, so I went ahead and gave her that instead of the other column, which focuses more on, negative emotions. So I went with the positive column. There's that. And this, I think, is important to us because I've actually started noticing off camera that the fairies will deal with their emotional force autonomously when it starts going down. Like, I've seen that. I haven't been sending them to the lake as much. They've been using the fairy houses, but when I'm busy doing other stuff, sometimes I'll click on a fairy and the emotional force will be in yellow or red, and then suddenly I see it kind of zooming up, going up, because they're doing something autonomously to feed themselves, which I'm happy about, because in the beginning, things I think were a little bit broken, and I was worried that the fairies were going to die without my intervention. But it makes sense if you set the autonomy to high, or you have free will on, they should be able to do everything that comes with that, including feeding themselves. So this makes me happy. And then some of the royal abilities that she got from the emotion branch, the emotion column, which is exclusive to the royal fairies. She got Bottle Emotion, absorb an emotion from yourself to create an emotion potion in your inventory. Keep some emotions on hand for emergencies or a quick recharge. And then she also got Bottle Another's Emotion, absorb an emotion from another sim to create an emotion potion in your inventory. Save a bit of emotion for later. And that's interesting. That ability can affect children. And then she also got the Project Emotion. Queen Supria can project her current mood out to nearby sims. Whether positive or negative, nearby sims will feel what Queen Supria feels. So I kind of want to take a look at some of these. So let's see. She can bottle emotion. Let's try this. Oh no, she needs some emotional force. Okay, I'm gonna boost up her emotional force because I want to check out this ability. Let's bottle emotion, and then Okay, there we go. She has some bottled emotion. And then let's go ahead, and she can, I think, use that emotion, right? She can drink the happy emotion, and that's gonna fill her emotional force. Is it? Or is it just gonna make her happy? No, it fills her emotional force, but it takes more than it fills, so... There is that, and then we can project emotion. So let's go and project emotion. Wonderful! Okay, there we go. And then I also want to bottle Katarina's emotion, since that is an ability that she has. Yeah, let's bottle Katarina's emotion. So let's go do that, since that's her closest council member. And Katarina is happy too. Okay, nice. So I got to check some of those things out, which I was really curious about. And Bren, you need to go work on... What's your skill, apothecary skill? She's got a level 2. Can we make a cure? Can we make a cure for simoleon fever? We need daisy and lemon. 1 daisy and 1 lemon. Let's purchase 1 daisy, 1 lemon. Come here, let's craft a cure for yourself. Come on, Bren. You work on this cure. She's feeling flirty. Yeah, Bren, she hasn't really been involved in anything too much. She hasn't taken part in any drama, but she might end up getting... I think she's getting involved just by virtue of being Katarina's lover. She has been keeping an eye on Brent, but not on Kayla. And Kayla's the one really that has a problem with Bren, because she's the only one who lost her council position. And she would feel as though Bren didn't get it honorably. If they had the exact same relationship with the queen and the exact same qualifications, then why did Bren keep a position and Kayla didn't? And the only thing Kayla can really think of and believe is that Bren has a romance with Katarina, and the queen listens to Katarina, so Katarina would have pulled in a favor to keep Bren on the council. Ay, ay, ay. It's almost 11 a.m. on Sunday. Let's see what's going through everyone's minds. Queen Supria wants to share ideas, so let's see who she's going to do that with. I don't think it's going to come as much of a surprise to us. She has a -10 with Brent, 100 with Bren, 100 with Kayla, and 100 with Katarina. And she has the amazing compatibility with Katarina, so of course she's going to go to her, and she is going to share some brilliant ideas. I think for Supria, this is the most ideal situation and scenario. I actually wonder if, as Vivian and Titania grow up, Supria will kind of favor them a lot more than the other kids, because, you know, Katarina is her closest friend. So that's kind of fascinating, but I think this would make Supria very, very excited for the summer season, to have someone that she really clicks with and be able to think about things with her, to plan things with her, you know, organize, work out any problems she might have. But I think it's also interesting to note that she's still withholding a lot of concerns about her own family and her own daughters. That's still something she wouldn't want to share necessarily with an outsider, because, you know, it concerns the royal family. Brent wants to woohoo in a bush. Now, she only has a close enough relationship to do that with Holly, her breeder. And the ladies don't really get too involved, but we don't have a bush, do we? We don't have a bush. Okay, I might have to ignore that. I didn't think about it. I didn't really think about it, but we don't have a bush, so I wouldn't be able to do that anyways. Let's see, give me something else that I can work with Brent. Give me something else that can work. Plant something, we can do that. Let's go and plant the garlic if possible, although that might not be. I think that garlic is in a position that just isn't working. We may have tried to plant it in the past. Is it taking? Is it not taking? It just might not take. Yep, no. Okay, what about these plants here? Okay, she's gonna try and plant everything, but the things that are left over might not be stuff that's plantable. I don't think they'll germinate. No, that one did. Okay. So she managed to plant this. Brant, honestly, I am a little bit unsure of what's going on in Brant's mind at this point. I think a huge part of her was already expecting Katerina to get the queen's favor, so she doesn't really have a problem with that. She saw a lot of it coming. I don't think she had high hopes for her position on the council. Her relationship with the queen is in the minus. So Brant obviously has been well aware of this. But Kayla was the one taken by surprise. Katerina wants to go on a flight, so let's send her on a flight. I think Katerina is feeling really happy with herself right now. I mean, she finally managed to make it back to the council after Supria's appointment. I mean, she was a council member under Justin, and then suddenly that was taken away, but she adjusted really well. She worked really hard, both with her offspring, but also just keeping her spirits up and fostering a good relationship with Supria, and she has gotten rewarded for that. And then, obviously, she would feel really happy that her romantic interest, Bran, also now has a place on the council. She kept her position. And I don't think Katerina is petty, so I don't think she would be too worried about other Sims being jealous. And it wouldn't even cross her mind that some of the other fairies are looking at them with envy. It wouldn't even be something that she would notice. I don't even know if she would bring up to the queen. And I kind of feel like because the queen is overwhelmed with her own daughters and their future, she's not really thinking about the scuffles happening in court either. It's not as though she's ignorant to everything, but she has another problem that she's focusing on. And Bran, guys, Bran wants to read Sim's aura. So let's see whose aura she wants to read within the households. She has a minus 18 with Brant. She has 100 with Katerina, 100 with Supria, and 100 with Kayla, but she has that good compatibility with Katerina. So she wants to read Katerina's aura to see how she is doing, and maybe to see if she's picked up on the fact that someone's not too happy with her. Bren's only paying attention. Bren's not even thinking about herself. She's only paying attention to Katerina and whether or not Katerina has any problems. So I don't know. I feel like the fairies that are up there in power might be a little bit closed off from what's happening down below. Okay, no, hold on. I want you, Katerina, are you done flying? I hope so. Bren wants to come. Oh geez, read your aura. Let's come and read aura. Come on. I don't think Bren would want to dampen Katerina's mood by saying, congratulations that we're both on the council, but also I don't think some of the fairies are going to like this. I don't think Bren would say that. I think she cares more about Katerina's happiness and is more encouraging than anything. But, can you not... Bren, can you not read her aura? Bren, can you not... Fine, can you just talk to her? Okay, and then come and read her aura. Come on. I think she would probe. This would be her way of kind of probing to see if Katerina has noticed anything or not. So let's see. What exactly is she going to perceive? How is it possible that I have no aura? Okay. Yeah, so Bren tried to read, I'm going to interpret that as her trying to read Katerina's mood, and she couldn't figure it out. So she has no clue whether Katerina is aware of what's happening and is turning a blind eye to it, or if she's genuinely oblivious. And that's probably why she's feeling a little bit tense. Moving on to Lady Kayla. Kayla wants to drink a glass of nectar. Let's go grab a glass of nectar. She is uncomfortable. She is frustrated. She feels as though it's really unfair. Okay. We have some pretty nectar over here. Let's see. Actually, I really like... You know what? Grape nectar looks really pretty. Let's come and get some grape nectar. She needs to de-stress, is what she needs to do. So she's going to come here to the bar. She's going to make herself some grape nectar. She's going to try and de-stress from the unfairness of it all. She hasn't really had a reason to feel this way before because she's largely understood everything that's been happening. And you know what? It could even be the fact that because Brent has already been feeding her with these things, like Brent's already been complaining to her from beforehand, and she's subconsciously been putting all these fears into Kayla, which Kayla didn't realize was there. But then when she lost her council position and Brent got to keep it, suddenly all those things Brent used to say about the queen favoring Katerina, it kind of came to the forefront. And she started thinking, hold on a second, I wasn't really giving Brent a lot of weight, but maybe she was right. Maybe this has been happening and I wasn't paying attention, and I should have, because now I've lost my position. And the light is on fire. The street light is on fire? Okay, so we have a bit of chaos, it seems. And with that said and done, I am going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye. Oh no, oh no, oh no. I was going to end the episode, but then Titania caught on fire. And the way I play it is that I don't really intervene. One of the ladies has to intervene and put her out. Can children die from fire? I didn't know they could catch fire. Oh my goodness. I thought Vivian would catch fire because she was like right in front of the flames, but it's Titania. Oh no. Can someone help her? Please be okay. Can someone help her? Is she gonna die? That is gonna be such a huge hit to Katerina. If one of her daughters dies, like the day that she's appointed into the new council. It's almost as though her life was too perfect, and the nature spirits, they decided to retaliate. Maybe Kayla's nature spirit, or maybe Brant's nature spirit, decided to retaliate by taking away the one thing that defined Katerina as an amazing counselor. Okay, no, she's okay. I don't think children can be killed by fire, can they? I'm gonna have to look this up, but that was scary. I thought Titania was about to die. Apparently that is not the case. That was way too dramatic for me to leave kind of unattended. Oh my goodness, that was scary though. That was scary, but I wonder if that would be a message to Katerina, that your life is becoming too perfect and you are inviting the envy of other fairies and their nature spirits. Huh.